My wife humiliated me with her lover, but I got help from another man to send her lover straight to hell and trap her in a living hell she can't escape. How much pain and humiliation can a man endure before finally breaking? I suppose that if you asked 50 different men, you would probably get 50 different answers. I reflected on that as I considered the headstone of the man buried in the grave in front of me. I did not know him well at all. In fact, I had only spent a few hours with him, but those few hours changed my life forever. 7 years ago, I was in Cozumel taking a break from college. I had gone there with some friends who promised great diving experiences, parties, and sex in abundance. It was fun, and the diving was magnificent. One night, however, I decided to spend a few quiet hours with a beer in one of the local bars. It was then that he approached my table. "Do you mind if I join you, young man?" he asked. He was an older man who appeared to be in his 60s, maybe even a little older. His eyes and his general demeanor showed a man who had experienced a lot of pain and suffering. Something about him was familiar to me, and as I was feeling a bit relaxed and charitable, I invited him to join me. A smile appeared on his face as he extended his hand. "I am Alan Jacobs," he said. I took his hand. "George Richardson," I said. He sat down after we shook hands. "Yes, I know," he told me. "What?" I asked myself. "What the hell is happening here? How do you know who I am?" I asked. "Nothing sinister," he said. "I knew your father. I served with him in Vietnam a long time ago. In fact, he saved my life once, along with quite a few other Marines. That earned him the Medal of Honor. In fact, he took a worn photo from his wallet and showed it to me. I had seen this photo before. A larger version hung in my father's office when he was still alive." Alan pointed to some of the guys in the photo, all in military field uniforms. "This was your father," he said. "Here I am. We called this guy Spider because of his thin body. He might have looked small, but that boy knew how to fight." He stopped and looked at the photo with nostalgia, as if remembering old comrades. "Unfortunately, they are all gone now, except for me." He looked at me after a few moments of silence. "So, is there someone special in your life, a fiancé or something like that?" I shook my head. "No, not at this time. I am too focused on schoolwork now, but I have dated a few girls from time to time," I said. He nodded in approval. "Good for you," he said. "Believe me, the worst thing you can do now is tie yourself down to one woman. Go after what you have to do, then get rid of them quickly. Believe me on that." "You seem a bit bitter," I said. "Are you married?" He snorted. "Technically, I am," he said, "but it is a joke. It has been for years. I have given that woman the best years of my life. I have been faithful to her. I have adored her, and I have loved her. And how does she repay me? By cheating on me, cutting me down, mocking me and humiliating me every chance she gets." Wow, I thought, this guy is really bitter. "Do you want to hear the story?" he asked. What the hell, I thought. This could be interesting. "Sure," I said. He told me the story of how he and his wife, Maggie, used to go diving in Mexico and other places spontaneously, something to relieve the stress of work. He told me how his wife, although somewhat cold for years, was a very beautiful woman. According to what Alan said, things went off the rails 2 years ago when they came here to Cozumel. Apparently, there was a guy from Spain who managed to get into their relationship, obviously looking to sleep with his wife, and he was an arrogant son of a bitch. "Can you imagine the nerve?" said Alan. He looked at me directly and said he was going to take my wife to bed and that I was going to watch. Can you believe that? He even showed me where it was going to happen and described what my wife would do before meeting him. Listen to this. She did exactly what he said. I mean, it was as if he had scripted everything and planned it well in advance. So here was my 46-year-old frigid wife, the woman who denied me any action, shaving on his orders no less, and going out without underwear like a teenager on spring break. What is that? Yes, I should have stopped her, but I did not. Hell, I thought she would reject him as she had done with everyone else, including me. But no, she did it. And what did I do? What real choice did I have? That bastard made it clear that if I did not allow it, he would come looking for her morning, noon, and night until I was 90 years old. He told me that if I let it happen and watched once, he would leave us alone and go home. But no, that did not happen. He deceived me. Both of them deceived me. That was the first day. From then on, he and my wife proceeded to humiliate me every chance they could. I am not going to lie to you, son. At first it was a little exciting. Although it enraged me, I thought that maybe she would eventually leave him and open up to me a little, but it never happened, and it all got old very quickly, and there seems to be no end to this. Why do you not just leave her? I asked. Say goodbye to her and end this. 2 words, he said. No fault. Do you know what that means? I shook my head. Basically, it means that she gets almost everything. The house, half the savings, half the retirement, and a large part of my salary. In other words, she would be living in the house that I built. She would keep half of my money, and I would have to pay for her to live there and continue having relations with her boyfriend while I am left living in a crappy apartment, eating pork and beans. Oh yes, I have spoken with a lot of lawyers, and that is how it is. At my age and in my condition, I would never survive, he said. What do you mean? I asked. A few months after all this started, I had a heart attack. It happened during one of their sex fests that she insisted I watch. You know, they did not even stop having relations to call the ambulance. You know what she said? If he dies, he dies. We will take his insurance money and travel the world. Then they laughed. What kind of sick person does that? I finally dragged myself to the phone and managed to call 911. They did not even stop when the paramedics arrived to take me. And you know what else she did? She and the jerk took off the whole time I was in the hospital. I have no idea where they went. Not once did she visit me in the hospital or check if I was okay. I took a chance. Why do you not get revenge? Burn her. Find someone to sleep with and make her watch. He shook his head. No, son, that would not be right, he told me. I made a vow before God and everyone to be faithful to her until death do us part. Those vows mean something to me even if they do not mean a damn thing to her. But that was a big wake-up call for me. I decided there was no way that bitch would get anything from me. I changed my will and took her out of it, and I changed my insurance and the beneficiary of my retirement, so she would not receive a cent. To hell with her, he said. Then, about 4 months ago, I was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor. The doctor said I maybe had 6 months to a year to live. That is when I decided to put an end to this, regardless of the consequences, he said. And tonight is the night I get my dignity back. I was finding it a bit hard to believe all this. I think he sensed it and took out his phone. I suspect you think this cannot be true. Nobody with a conscience would act like that, right? Maybe in the movies or on one of those erotic fiction sites, but not in real life, he said. I had to agree. He pressed a few things on his phone, took out a pair of headphones, plugged them in, and handed me his phone. Watch this video, he said. Then tell me what you think. I put on the headphones and pressed play on his video app. I saw an attractive older woman on top of a man whose face was hidden by her body. She seemed to be looking directly at the camera, but I realized she was looking at the man holding the camera. She smiled, but her smile had no warmth. Do you like what you see? She asked. Your face says no, but I know you do. You love watching me, right? You are shaking your head, but I know better than you that you like this. Do not worry, he will never touch me again. Oh God, that felt so good, she said as she got up. What is wrong? You do not look so good. Are you going to have another heart attack? Good. Maybe it will be the final one this time. It does not matter. I will play the role of the grieving widow to perfection. Hell, I have been playing the role of the loving wife all these years, so I am pretty good at deceiving people. Then we will take your insurance money and travel to all the places you and I wanted to visit at your expense, she added, laughing this time. The man under her sat up and laughed with her, wrapping his arm around her. She turned to look at her lover. Come on, big boy, let's do it again. Maybe we can make him have a stroke this time, she said. The video ended with the two lovers laughing hysterically. I was in shock, staring at the blank screen in front of me. I have many other videos like this, Alan told me. Why is she doing this? I asked. Did you cheat on her or hit her or something? He shook his head. No, I was never unfaithful to her, and I always treated her like a queen. However, I asked her once. Watch this, he added, taking the phone and looking for another video. The second video showed his wife's back as he addressed her. Why are you doing this to me? I heard him ask in the video. I have never been unfaithful to you, and you have to admit that I treat you very well. I just want to know why you are tearing us apart. She turned and stared at him. Why? Because I can, because it is fun, and because, let's be honest, Alan, you are pathetic. You always have been. You are weak and you complain all the time. I enjoy watching you suffer. It is that simple. Now, if you do not mind, I have a date with a real man. With that, she turned and walked away, leaving him alone with his pain. What you saw tonight is just a small part of my hellish life. But do not worry, George, I have a plan. I am not leaving this world without a fight. I will not let her get away with it. No, she will pay for everything she has done to me. Everything is prepared. The plan is in motion and all I need is your help for the final push, Alan said with a determination I had not seen in him before. I was overwhelmed by everything I had heard and seen. It was clear that Alan had suffered a lot and was determined to do something about it, to get his dignity back in the only way he knew how. What exactly do you need me to do? I asked, feeling a mixture of responsibility and dread. I just need you to make sure the videos are posted online and sent to certain people, including some of her colleagues and friends. I have also prepared a letter detailing everything she has done to me, along with copies of the videos. I need you to deliver them to the local media and some men's rights lawyers I have contacted. I will give you a full list and all the necessary instructions, Alan explained, handing me a thick envelope. And what will you do? I asked, though I was afraid to know the answer. Tonight, I am going to confront her one last time. I will tell her I have done all this and see her reaction. But do not worry. I have taken precautions to ensure that everything is safe and will be published no matter what. If all goes well, her reputation will be destroyed and she will not benefit from anything she has done, he said with a cold resolution. I knew that Alan was determined and that there was no way to change his mind. I realized it was his last chance to do justice his own way, and although I was not sure it was the best way, I felt I owed this to my father and to Alan. Okay, I said finally. I will help you. Alan patted me on the shoulder. Thank you, George. This means more to me than you can imagine. Now, follow these instructions and make sure everything is done as planned. I spent the next few hours following Alan's instructions to the letter. I sent the videos to the people on the list, delivered the letters, and made sure everything was in place. I never saw Alan again after that night, but I learned from the news that his wife was exposed and her reputation was in ruins. Alan's story spread, and many realized the cruelty with which he had been treated. It was a tragic end, but at least Alan managed to get his dignity back on his own terms. And as I stood in front of his tombstone years later, I realized how much my life had changed from knowing him. I learned about courage, determination, and the importance of fighting for what one believes in, even in the darkest of circumstances. Yes, you see, I have the element of surprise. They expect a dejected and depressed old man. They have no idea about the shitstorm that is coming their way, he said. You are not going to kill her, are you? I asked. No, he said. I want her to live a long time and to remember tonight for the rest of her miserable life. And I want her to face the shame of what she did to us. Believe me, she is going to have a lot of explaining to do to a lot of people. Exactly what would I have to do? I asked. I hoped he would not ask me to hurt or kill someone. Not much. Just record the encounter, email it, and then hand her an envelope, he said. That sounded easy enough. I already have the email drafted, so all you would have to do is attach the video and press send. He took 2 envelopes from his pocket. The thick envelope is for her. It practically explains what you will be recording tonight. The other one is for you. What is that one for? I asked. There is a key to a safe deposit box, a card, and a letter with some instructions. After we are done tonight, you will have to call my lawyer. He is waiting for your call and will explain everything to you. Okay, I will do it, I said. What the hell? Make a video, send it, and hand her an envelope. Simple enough. Alan smiled. Thank you, George. This means a lot to me. Call it my last great act of defiance, he said. We finished our beer while watching part of a soccer match on the big screen TV. Alan looked at his watch. It is time to go. Are you ready? He asked. I indicated that I was. We left the bar. I had no idea where we were going, so I followed his lead. He was mostly silent, but he gave me a piece of advice. Someday, George, you will meet a woman and you will fall in love. I know I told you before to do your thing quickly and leave them quickly, but the truth is, you will fall in love. It happens to all of us. Just do yourself a favor before you marry her, he said. What is it? I asked. Watch her closely. Watch her mother. See how she treats her husband because, probably, that is what awaits you. But do not get married until she signs a prenuptial agreement. Protect yourself and do not let your relationship become like mine. Always put her first. Love her with everything you have, but take the initiative at the first sign of trouble, he said. It seemed like good advice to me. Finally, We arrived at what seemed to be our destination. There were two people waiting for Alan. The woman I saw in the video was sitting on an exterior staircase, and a tall man was next to her. Alan stopped and looked at me. This is showtime. You have my phone, so please start recording when I approach them. And remember, some of the things you are going to see may be disturbing, he said. Look, Alan, I began. I am sorry about all this. I barely know you, but I think you would have been a great father. He smiled as he put his hand on my shoulder. Thank you, George. That means a lot to me, he said. Let's get this over with. I took out Alan's phone, making sure it was ready to record. My heart was pounding in my chest as I watched Alan walk towards his wife and her lover. He moved with a surprising firmness, considering the gravity of the situation. I started recording as Alan approached them. The woman, Maggie, looked up, apparently annoyed by the interruption. Alan, what the hell are you doing here? She demanded, her voice dripping with contempt. I just wanted to have a little chat, Maggie, Alan said with a deceptively calm tone. Her lover, the tall man, straightened up and looked at Alan with a mocking smile. This had better be quick, old man. We are in the middle of something. I can see that, Alan replied, looking at Maggie with a mixture of sadness and disgust. But I have a few things to say to you. George, you are the spitting image of your father, and I know he would be very proud of you right now, said Alan. I remembered something my father used to say sometimes. Alan, semper fi, he smiled. Now, he said quietly before walking away. I put on the headphones so I could hear what was being said and held his phone to get a clear and steady video. I zoomed in a bit to get a better look. The couple on the stairs reacted to seeing Alan approach. Neither of them saw me. The man straightened up and smiled smugly as he began to speak. I wanted to wipe that smile off his face. Well, it looks like the cuckold has finally arrived, he said as the woman smiled. I was surprised by the clarity and quality of the sound. I am here, said Alan. Let's get this over with. Not so fast, cuckold, said the smiling man as he took out a bottle of what looked like champagne and 3 glasses. He poured the sparkling liquid and gave one to the woman, who accepted it with a smile. He left the second glass and offered the third to Alan. Let's have a toast before we start, shall we? Said the smiling man. After all, it is the 2nd anniversary of our relationship, right? 2 years ago today, I took your wife to bed for the first time, right here on these steps. Is not that right? Alan was not amused. He kept his hands at his sides and said nothing. Oh, come on, Alan, said the woman. Do not be a party pooper. This is a special day for all of us. Do you not want to celebrate with us? Maybe do a little reenactment. I am wearing the same dress I wore that first night. Do you not like it? She asked, lifting her dress to show she was not wearing panties. We will enjoy a little toast, and then you can watch him have relations with me, just like we did that first night. I am so hot just thinking about it. Afterwards, you can sit and watch us have relations all night. It will be very fun. Alan reached behind his back and pulled out a pistol that he had hidden in his belt. He took a solid shooting stance, holding the pistol with both hands, as my father had taught me many years ago. The smile disappeared from the other man's face as he realized the pistol was aimed at his head. Well, it looks like the cuckold has finally grown a pair of balls, he said. What are you going to do, cuckold? Are you going to shoot me? He laughed, and the woman joined in. This ends now, said Alan with conviction. And yes, I am going to blow your brains out. Well then, I guess I had better get ready to meet my maker, said the man, sarcastically, with his arms open. Shut up and do not move, said Alan, cocking the pistol. The man's face changed as he realized Alan was serious. The woman's tone also changed. Alan, please, do not do anything stupid, she said. Look, you do not have to watch us having relations, okay? Just leave, and we will celebrate without you. It will not be as much fun, mind you, without you here to humiliate. Shut up. I will deal with you later. Her eyes widened in surprise. Alan had never spoken to her like that before. Alan, look, we do not have to resort to violence. This is not necessary. You are not going to shoot me or anyone else, you know that. Please, put down the gun and let's talk about this like mature adults, said the smiling man, now clearly nervous. Oh, so now it is please, said Alan. That is the problem with jerks like you. You think you can walk into someone's house, steal their wife, strip the man of his dignity, and then expect the injured party to discuss it calmly. The problem with people like you is that you confuse patience with weakness. You get arrogant and confident. Well, guess what, you asshole? Tonight you are going to pay. You slept with my wife. You stole my dignity and my manhood, and tonight I get it back. And yes, you are going to die. Alan, I am begging you. Please, put the gun down and we can end this, said the man. Would you get on your knees and beg for your life? Asked Alan. The man slowly knelt, with his hands in the air. Please, Alan, I am begging you, do not kill me. We can put an end to this now and you will never see me again, he said. Alan turned to his wife. Look at that, Maggie. Your lover is now on his knees, begging me for his life. What do you think now? Not so arrogant now, are you? He asked the man. What do you think, Maggie? Should I let him live? No, I do not think so. Goodbye, you asshole, said Alan as he squeezed the trigger. The man's eyes widened at Alan's last statement, but he had no time to respond, as the .45 caliber bullet hit him directly in the forehead and exited through the back, taking almost half of his brain and skull with it. He fell backwards, forming a pool of blood on the ground. Maggie screamed and covered her ears. Alan moved and pointed the gun at her. Shut up, he shouted. Shut your mouth. Maggie stopped screaming, but her makeup began to run as tears streamed from her eyes. You murdered him, she shouted. Yes, I did, said Alan. But you and your lover murdered me 2 years ago, and you have been driving a stake through my heart every day since, so I guess that makes it even. Now it is your turn to feel pain. Please, Alan, do not kill me, she sobbed. I am sorry I hurt you like that. I really am sorry. No, Maggie, you are not sorry at all. And do not worry. I am not going to kill you, said Alan, a crooked smile forming on his face. Not that I have not thought about it, have I? Actually, I considered killing you 100 times, and I could have done it too, but I thought that would be too good for you. Now, I want you to live to be 100 years old, and for every day to be a reminder of what you did. That is right. You are directly responsible for the deaths of 2 men, one being your lover, and the other being the man who loved you exclusively for 17 years. And by the way, Maggie, I am dying. 4 months ago, I was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor and was given 6 months to a year to live. But I decided to take my own destiny into my own hands. And before you celebrate my death, I want you to know that I changed my will and all my retirement accounts after my heart attack. You will not get anything. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. After I am done here, there will be a kind young man who will give you something that explains it all, he said. Can we not talk about it? She asked. No, Maggie. For the last 2 years, I tried to talk to you. You made it clear how you felt about me. Now you are going to pay the price. You know what? You probably did not even notice that I have not been wearing my wedding ring for the last few months, have you? Yes, I know you spent $20,000 on that ring. I got $20 for it at a pawn shop. Maybe if you hurry, you can get it out before they sell it, he said. What have you done? She asked. That was a special ring I had made just for you. Yes, about that. It seems you did not care at all in the last 10 years, did you? Let alone in the last 2 years, he said. In fact, I do not remember you telling me you loved me in the last few years. In fact, you made it clear you were no longer interested. I could have accepted a divorce, but you did not have to hurt and humiliate me every chance you got. Please, Alan, let's get help. Maybe therapy. Do not do this, she pleaded. Now you care? Now that I am really dying. No, Maggie, it is too late, he said. I warned you this would not end well, but you did not listen to me. Oh, and by the way, you should prepare yourself to receive a huge number of calls after this. This is being recorded and will be emailed to everyone you know, your friends, family, everyone you work with, even some contacts in the media. No, please, she cried. Let's start over, please. I have learned my lesson. Too little, too late, Maggie, he said. Goodbye. With that, Alan put the pistol in his mouth and pulled the trigger. The top of his head flew off, spattering blood and gray matter everywhere. Maggie screamed hysterically. No, please, Alan. No, do not die. Please, come back to me, Alan. Please, please, please. I am sorry, Alan. I am really sorry, Alan. Please, I did not do it on purpose. I really love you. I stopped the video, saved it, then opened the draft of the email, attached it, and sent it. I waited until I saw the notification that the email had been sent and turned off the phone. I walked towards the hysterical woman, who looked at me. I am who Alan said I am, something like the son he never had. Too bad. I think he would have been a great father. Good luck, I said. I heard the sound of sirens and left as quickly as I could. I may have seemed calm on the outside, but I trembled for quite some time. After all, I had just witnessed the murder of one man and the violent suicide of another. It took me a while before I could keep my composure long enough to make a couple of calls. The first call was to my friends, telling them I had to leave early in the morning. They took it well, but asked if I was okay. I promised to tell them about it sometime. The next call was to the lawyer, whose number was on the card inside the envelope Alan gave me. I identified myself, and we talked for a few minutes. He told me to come see him at his office in Washington, D.C. the next day or the day after. Then he gave me the directions to go to the bank where I was to put Alan's phone in the safe deposit box. Then he told me to turn on the news. I did and saw an edited and abbreviated version of the video I sent. Apparently, the suicide of a prominent member of Washington's political class was considered news. Attempts to contact Alan Jacobs' widow have been unsuccessful so far, said the anchor. According to videos sent to various media outlets, tonight's incident appears to be the result of an alleged love affair she was having with a foreign diplomat. It is not known exactly how Jacobs sent the video of his own suicide, but it is generally believed that he received help to do so. The State Department has not issued a statement on the murder of the foreign diplomat. Stay tuned for more updates. I checked the news channels and saw my video everywhere. I turned on my laptop and found that the reports on Alan's suicide had gone viral. According to the reports, there were 3 videos, but only parts of one were considered suitable for network broadcast. At least one of the other 2 videos, according to the articles, had pornographic content and showed Mrs. Jacobs participating in sexual activity with the foreign diplomat. The next day, I returned to the United States and went to the lawyer I had spoken with before. He informed me that Alan had changed his will some time ago, making me the sole beneficiary of his entire inheritance, except for his house, which he had donated to a non-profit organization to be turned into a shelter for homeless veterans. After taxes and fees, he said I would receive about $10 million. A few days later, I was at Arlington National Cemetery attending Alan's funeral. Mrs. Jacobs was also there, playing the part of the grieving widow, but no one paid her any attention. She cried as a Marine in dress uniform handed her the flag that covered his coffin. The reading of Alan's will went similarly. She tried to contest the will, but withdrew her objection after Alan's lawyer suggested that some of the more sensational videos of her with her lover would be used against her and would therefore become public records. After the meeting, she approached me. "I hope you are happy," she said. "I lost everything." I could not believe what I was hearing. "You did not lose anything," I told her. "You threw it all away. To be precise, you deliberately screwed it up. Now you are getting what you deserve." I left her standing there and went back to school, where I was more determined than ever to do my best. I wanted to be the kind of man who would make both Alan and my dad proud. At the same time, I kept an informal track of Maggie Jacobs and saw an interview with her on one of those daytime television shows for women. She tried to play the victim, claiming abuse and infidelity, and 3 of the hostesses supported her, but one of them, apparently, had seen all 3 videos and began to confront her politely with her own words. Maggie denied saying what the hostess remembered, so she played the video where she admitted that Alan had never mistreated or cheated on her. "And is it not true that you refused to call 911 when your husband was having a heart attack?" the hostess asked. "As I understand it, you and your lover continued to have sexual relations while your husband was dying. How do you respond to that?" Naturally, that pretty much ended the interview, and Maggie left the set crying, confronted by her own words and actions. As far as I know, she never appeared on any other show. A few months later, an article appeared saying she had been found dead in her apartment, apparently a suicide victim. According to the report, after Alan's suicide, she had been suspended on administrative grounds. The man she was sleeping with turned out to be something more than a foreign diplomat. Apparently, several intelligence agents had linked him to ISIS, and there were those who believed that Maggie had passed on sensitive information. Unable to deal with the consequences of her own actions, she took an overdose of pills, followed by a significant amount of alcohol. The officers who discovered her body said she was wearing her wedding dress and had a picture of her wedding against her chest. A note on her nightstand simply said, "Please, forgive me. I followed Alan's advice when it came to women. I dated several, did what I set out to do, and moved on. I fell in love a few times, but changed my mind after meeting their parents. Then I met Karen. We dated for a long time, and I found myself falling in love with her. She invited me to meet her parents during the holidays, and I was struck by the way they interacted with each other. Despite being married for 30 years, they acted like teenagers, constantly giving each other hugs and furtive kisses. It was clear they really loved each other. More than once, Karen suggested they get a room. "How do you think you got here?" her mom said, laughing. At the end of the trip, my decision was made. Her father spoke to me privately before we left. "You seem like a really nice guy, George, and I see how my daughter looks at you. Tell me the truth, do you love her? I mean, do you really love her?" he asked me. "Yes, sir, I love her," I told him. It was true. I love Karen very much. "Do you love her enough to spend the rest of your life with her?" he asked. That was the big question. "I think so," I replied. "Good," he said, "because if you ever hurt my little girl, you will have to answer to us." I considered what he said and carefully formulated my response. I realized he was just looking out for his daughter, and I respected that. "Sir," I said, "I know firsthand what can happen when a marriage falls apart. I have personally seen the pain it can cause, and I swear to you that I will never, ever do anything to hurt her. Someday I will tell you my story, and I hope you will understand." I am not sure if it was the expression on my face or the tear that was struggling to escape my eye, but he seemed to understand and nodded his head. "Okay, George, that is enough for now," he said, "and I am going to hold you to that." Karen and I got married after I graduated from law school. At her father's insistence, we signed a prenuptial agreement to protect our assets. In addition to my $10 million, Karen had inherited a large sum of money from her grandparents, and we all agreed it was for the best. She and her parents seemed confused when I told them about my plan to join the Marines and become a JAG officer, a military lawyer. They had assumed I would take a high-paying job with one of the many prominent law firms that tried to recruit me. It was then that I told them about my dad and Alan. "Oh my God, that is so sad," said Karen. I showed them the video I recorded that night in Cozumel. Although Alan's phone was still locked away, I was one of the more than 1,000 recipients of the email sent that night. "Was it you who took that video?" she asked. I was wondering how he managed to get that video to the media so quickly. "Did anyone ever question you?" "No," I said. "I guess the authorities thought it did not really matter. And now, with Mrs. Jacobs dead, the case is closed. I have many videos that he took, but they are not suitable for sensitive people." I looked at Karen's father. "Now you know why I will never do anything to hurt your little girl," I said. "And I assure you that if there is any problem, I will take the initiative and solve it before it gets out of control." He understood, giving me a manly hug. "I believe in you, son, and thank you for sharing that with us." It must have been painful to witness that. A year later, Karen gave birth to a boy. She asked me what I would like to name him, and I said, "Michael Allen Richardson, in honor of the two bravest men I have ever known." Michael was my father's first name, and you already know who Allen is. "Michael Allen," she said. "I like it. Michael Allen will be his name." And here we are, at Arlington National Cemetery, in front of Allen's grave. I know there are some who, upon hearing this story, will think that Allen was a coward for putting up with his wife's nonsense for so long. I know there are some who will question why he endured the humiliation for so long. I am one of them. Maybe he was a little weak for a while. Maybe he thought the love they once had would win in the end. Who knows? Maybe he thought she would come to her senses after a while. I chose not to judge the man because I was not there. What I do know for sure is what I witnessed that day in Cozumel. That was certainly not the act of a coward. I took a small eagle, globe, and anchor from my uniform pocket and placed it on his tombstone. "Semper Fi, Allen," I said quietly. "Rest in peace." I have been moved by the story of Allen. Everything he suffered, and remained faithful while his wife and lover constantly humiliated him. And for George, the fact of how the presence of a new person in our life, however short, can change us.